Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch. It is the final round of Bennetts British Superbike in 2023. What a season it has been, what a weekend we have in store, and it's time for an eBay pit lane tour. Now this is going to be a longer one than usual because we've got a lot to get through. Of course, if you remember back at Donington, we were talking about the new pathway machines. This is an opportunity for teams and riders to enter from the Superstock Championship into BSB next year. It was announced earlier this week that Fraser Rogers and In Competition will be making that step, and they're having a play this weekend as well on the RSV4 Aprilia. Fraser just going through a little debrief there with the team, but that's really good news to see the Aprilia on the grid. That's going to be here for next year, and there's a number of pathway bikes that we'll talk about as we go down through pit lane. Missing at the moment in this garage is Tom Booth-Amos, who's here as well. Of course, he's been running in British Supersport for most of this season. This weekend, a wild card appearance for Tag Honda. It'd be really interesting, actually, I think, just to see him on a superbike. His teammate for the weekend on another pathway machine, Sean Winfield, who's been, of course, riding on that machine in National Superstock. Of course, different electronics, and we'll explain that as the weekend goes on. Not such an issue, actually, for Fraser Rogers and Aprilia because they've already been using Motec electronics so far this year, so that'll be interesting to see how it goes. It's the final round of the season as well for the Rapid CDH Racing Kawasaki team. Louis Vallely, number 56, and Jack Scott will be looking to round off their years on a high with everything that they've learned so far this year. Normal qualifying, back to that this weekend as well. The top 12 from the combined sessions today advanced through to Q2, and there were some big names in and out. The main men in general are there. Leon Haslam, though, we'll talk about that later. He's had a nightmare day. Dow Racing Kawasaki. In there you will see Braden Elliott, the Australian. He's just been out, of course. That will be his last run out on the Superbike for this weekend. Danny Buchan has just been announced as the new rider for Dow Racing Kawasaki. That was announced just a couple of days ago, so we'll see Danny out on that. Milwaukee BMW, just over in the corner there, is Davey Todd. Davey's done really well, actually, since jumping on to the Milwaukee BMW, and he's just having a little bit of a debrief there, a little cheeky wink and a smile from Steve Plater, the boss man, as they talk through stuff. No bike in the garage of Lee Hardy's team. That's because Brad Peary had a little bit of a tip-off earlier. I've been reassured that he was fine. Really quick in the wet this morning. He was 7th fastest. We had a wet FP1. Still a few damp patches out there, though, but Brad's absolutely fine. Another one of the pathway machines here. Cummins by IWR Honda team, Alex Olsen. And Alex nearly squeezed through to Q2. An absolutely fantastic job from the local rider. Alex Olsen just missing out on a place inside the top 12, but progressing from his first appearance on the IWR Honda from Donington just a few weeks ago. So well done to Alex Olsen. He's just doing a bit of a debrief there as well. We move now on to the Honda Racing UK team. Tom Neve put in a really good last-minute lap there in that session as well. So Tom's just speaking there to Chris Pike in the Honda garage. On the other side, we've got Andy Irwin, who's back in business, and there's a big smile on the face there of Andy. Of course, he's still getting back up to speed after returning from injury. Give us a wave to the camera, Andy. There he is. Good man. Thumbs up. And of course, his big brother has got it all to play for in Bennetts British Superbikes here this weekend. But Andy Irwin, I'm sure we'll be seeing him back on the podium sometime soon. Another one of the pathway machines here in Franco Bourne's garage. Franco's done a great job this year. Of course, he was replacing Andy Irwin whilst injured. You'll hear a few sidecars in the background here. By the way, we're trying not to get run over by them. Franco Bourne here is doing a good job. He had an excellent run out back at Donington Park as well. Really, really strong. And I think you're going to see him take another leap forward next season. Further down here, Luke Mossey. Really positive end to the season so far for Luke. Of course, we saw him on the podium last time out at Donington, which was big news for the Tactics by Lloyd and Jones BMW team. They need all the help they can get sponsorship-wise. Luke there, thumbs up from him. He's happy enough. Yep, good job there from Luke. Fantastic season for him. And likewise, steps forward in the next garage this season, particularly in the second half of the season for Storm Stacey and the Starline Kawasaki team. As we just look in there, the bike is actually out here with me. We've got, there's Storm, happy enough, having a little chat with dogs over there, and Aaron's just on the edge of the garage as well. Next up, Hawk Racing. Charlie Nesbitt had a bit of a spill in that session, but I can assure you, even though there he is, he's absolutely fine. He's okay. We send, of course, our best wishes at the moment as well to Josh Owens after that horrible accident on the lead up to this weekend. Josh, we wish you all the best. But yeah, Charlie's absolutely fine after that spill in that session. Of course, what a season it has been. A breakthrough year for Charlie Spud Nesbitt on the podium 3 times earlier in the year. Into the FS3 Kawasaki garage, of course, we've got the Cheshire Moulding sponsorship and as well Completely Motorbikes, who will be the title sponsor for next year. Jacko, really strong end to the year. Let's not forget, Lee Jackson can still win this championship. It has been a mad year, 2023. Anything is possible. And with the points, of course, being 35 for a win here this weekend, any more drama like we saw at Donington, and it could all be on the table. Max Cook as well comes to the end of his rookie season in Kawasaki colours, and he's looking to build on Donington Park before we now head into Brands. Believe it or not, we're still only about halfway down this pit wall at the moment. Jack Kennedy's garage, there is the Martrain Yamaha. Thumbs up from Jack, the 4-time British Supersport champion. Of course, we know he's leaving that team. Hopefully he can find himself a slot on the grid because he certainly deserves it. Over here into the Oxford Products Racing Ducati team, and Christian Iddon is there, just having a chat with Steve Wilfmore. Christian had a really strong session there. Don't know if he's going to spare us a minute? 1 minute? Go on, Steve said thumbs up. Thanks, Steve. Christian, let's have a quick chat with you. Christian, we've spoken to you a few times so far this year, and I know the season hasn't gone completely how you wanted it to, but that looked like a positive day.
Yeah, it was. Conditions were really weird. There was a really dangerous part out there into the last corner, which was catching a few people out, and it's so easily done. But yeah, considering track conditions weren't ideal, it was quite strong pace. So I feel quite good. I feel quite happy.
So end of the season, last couple of rounds, certainly looking more like yourself.
Yeah, we've had a rubbish season. Nothing disastrous in terms of things that can go wrong, but it's just not been how we all expect it to be. And yeah, it'd be really nice to follow up the podiums that we had at Donington with some podiums here and finish the season on a strong and positive note.
Good to see the smile back on your face, Christian.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks very much to Christian Iddon then, and thanks to Steve for allowing us to chat to him there as well. FHO Racing at BMW. Josh Brooks had a fall earlier on in FP1, but recovered well in the second half of the session, so that's good news for him. And on the other side of the garage, Peter Hickman, mighty quick. And in fact, I'm going to see if I can pinch a word with Peter. Good to speak to Peter after a rotten season, in fairness. We have not spoken to this man anywhere near as much as we should be, and anywhere as much as I'm sure you'd like to be speaking to us, Peter, but let's talk about today first. That's much more like it.
Yeah, well, the reason you not spoke to me is going to be a rubbish all year, isn't it? I think round 2 was the last time I was actually properly fast, but anyway, it's been in one of them years, really, to be quite honest, but happy with today. Still not quite as fast as what I wanted to go, to be quite honest, but still P2 overall means obviously everyone else wasn't as fast, but it's amazing that we've been running this bike for a couple of years and yet we're still finding things that, we know this bike inside out pretty well, and yet with the level always increasing, you're having to constantly evolve and adapt and figure out how to extract the best out of the bike, and we're still finding things that make it better, so that's a good thing.
Peter, we know that you've got the speed, you know that you've got the speed. Any rhyme or reason as to why we've come here and it's just worked?
To be honest, I was actually fast at Donington. The races didn't go my way at all. However, in practice and in qualifying, qualifying's never my strong point anyway. But I was 8th on the grid. I did a 27 at Donington. I'd never done a 27 before. And on lap 19 of a tyre, I did a 28.1. So I was actually really strong at Donington. Just the weather and races didn't go to plan. And then once you're back in the pack after the first race, the lap time was not good enough. And then I ended up 18th for race 2. And it just absolutely hammers us. So I've had the speed. It's just not worked. Even Alton Park 2-3 rounds ago, I was actually really strong all weekend and just didn't have any results. It's just been one of them years where the potential has been there and we've just not managed to realise it when it counted.
Just lastly, before we go, as a Wasp tries to attack the pair of us here in pit lane, how good would it be to end the year with a couple of pots just for, mentally going into the winter?
Well, yeah, it'd be very, very nice. It's been, like I say, it's been a bit of a dry season for that sort of thing. So, it'd be mega if we could. But let's see. There's another 30 riders out there that also want that. and it's, you know, British Superbike as ever is super tight and mega competitive, which is great. But we won't be through lack of trying if we don't make it. Let's put it that way.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, mate.
Peter Hickman then, good to see him back at the sharp end. McCams Yamaha, Jason O'Halloran, you know, mathematically speaking, he could still win the championship, but my word, would he need a lot of things to go his way here this weekend. And quite honestly, other than Thruxton, not a lot has gone his way so far in 2023, but anything's possible. We know the Yamaha is fast here. We know that Jason O'Halloran is fast here. On the other side of the garage, Nicolo Canepa continues to ride for Yamaha in the closing stages of this one. Now then, we're about to move on to Beer Monster Ducati, but Chris, I want to move that way, and then I'm going to come back here. I think there's quite a bit to talk about here. So we're going to move a little bit further down. We've got the Lamy OMG Yamaha team. Ryan Vickers' bike's looking a bit second-hand after a fall at the end of the session. He is absolutely fine though. I can see him already talking to Roger Marshall over there. And Kyle Ryde is about to pop over to us because he ended that session fastest overall. Now remember, after all the drama, Kyle Ryde still very much in the hunt as Chris gets lost in the pit box there. Kyle, there was a lot of drama going on here before the red flag came out to get you back out on circuit, but all in all, job done, P1, championship still on. You must be happy with day one.
Yeah, so sorry to obviously the guys. I didn't even crash. I just went in the gravel, and after the rain, it was all a bit sludgy, and yeah, it was basically like riding a moped in the motorhomes bit. So yeah, I ended up falling off a little bit, giving the guys a bit of work to do. But yeah, luckily there was a red flag, and I had 7 minutes left to do a good lap time, and yeah, the bike felt great. So
Kyle, obviously, it's been a funny old championship so far. Donington means that you're in with a fighting shout, bigger points on offer. But is it kitchen sink time already tomorrow, or do you wait till Sunday?
Yeah, well, that was the plan today. So as soon as I seen it was going to dry out, I said to the boys, just got to put the hammer down, make your mark and show them what you're made of. So yeah, I'm first then. I wasn't even happy with the lap time, but the bike feels pretty great. So yeah, roll on tomorrow. It's going to be a bit cold, but same for everyone, and we should be good.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck to Kyle Ryde then. Very much in the BSB Championship. Remember, 3 races to go. Chris, if you look over to your left, you'll see the garage of Leon Haslam. I think they've had some technical issues. You can see they're literally pulling the bike to pieces. Leon Haslam was 22nd at the end of that FP2 session. That is certainly not where Leon wants to be. We won't bother them or the team too much about that one. Of course, Leon will get a chance to go through to Q2 tomorrow in Q1. The top 6 will advance from that. Now then, we can't finish without talking about PBM, the Beer Monster Ducati team. What more can you say about Donington Park? We've only just got our breath back. It was unbelievable. What a tale, what a story. 8 wins apiece for these guys. The garage is shut there for Tommy. Let's see if we can muscle our way in. Yeah, I'm going to go in. We'll go in. These guys then separated by 7.5 points. It's all on for the championship. They're just getting themselves ready. It was huge drama back at Donington Park. But one of these guys surely has to have their hands on the trophy. Otherwise, you've got to believe there might be a bit of bother. They've been through the mill the last few months. So much emotions after the tragic loss of Paul Bird. I've got to say, by the way, Jordan and Frank stepping in have done a marvellous job, and I heard a fantastic podcast with Jordan with the Chasing the Racing guys. She's absolutely phenomenal, a chip off the old block. So the boys better be careful that they don't run into each other this weekend, because I think she might have a few things to say. But it's Tommy versus Glenn versus Leon versus Kyle. There's 8 riders that can win it. And after Donington, you'd be mad to miss this weekend at Brands Hatch. No matter what happens in the points, it goes to Sunday, and this is how you can tune in. We will be live on EUROSPORT 2 on Saturday, 12 till 5:30, all on Discovery Plus as well. And then Sunday, where it all counts, we will be crowning a British Superbike champion one way or another. Who it is, we don't know, but we are live on Sunday, 12 till 5:15 on EUROSPORT 2. Don't miss a single lap. Join us. It's looking like it's going to be dry. I cannot wait. Bring it on.